It's time for Where You Live with Gene and Tony, the show that's all about owning, buying, selling, renting, and association management. If it involves a home, we'll talk about it. Here's your chance to get your homeowner questions answered. From the Concierge Landscape Studios, here's Gene and Tony.
Needed the shelter of someone's arms, and there you were. Needed someone to understand my ups and downs, and there you were.
Welcome to Hour 2 of Where You Live with Gene and Tony. If you're just joining us, we've been talking this last hour with our guest on the phone, Jonathan Friedrich, who is a homeowner himself in an HOA in Nevada, and also an HOA advocate. He has some concerns about a Senate bill in Nevada that would make mediation and arbitration necessary first steps, and we've been talking about what some of those concerns are. If you'd like to be involved with us in the discussion this morning, give us a call. The number here, 651-289-4488. And let's once again welcome back Jonathan. Now,
Thank
Jonathan, one question I have, I was thinking about here, and that is, in Nevada, you have a lot of different layers of government involved here just in HOAs. You have an ombudsman office that deals with issues. Nevada also has now what's called the Commission for Common Interest Communities.
Since 1999.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me ask you, were you for these entities being initiated?
The original concept in creating the Office of the Ombudsman was to protect the homeowner.
Mm-hmm.
It has failed, and it has failed miserably.
Well,
I
asked the question of you specifically. Were you in favor of these organizations being started?
I was not living in Nevada at the time. I moved here 8.5 years ago from the East Coast, thinking that I was going to retire here and have a less expensive, peaceful remainder of my life. It has been anything but that. We have had a board in my association that has run wild. They have accelerated the expenditures here. We have a little manned gatehouse. It's about 150 square feet. Now, the board went and spent $2,000 on a custom-made cabinet for the little bathroom for the gatekeeper. They spent over $2,000 on flooring. Who's paying for all this?
Well,
These
Mr.
are
Friedrichs,
homeowners.
have you run for the board?
I was on the board.
Okay.
And I was the loudmouth from back east, and I was illegally removed from the board. And at that point in time, I said, I don't want to be on this board with these individuals who are running wild here.
And you could
Why
not
were
you could
you
not get the
removed?
rest
What
of your
was it that
members
they
to.
asked you?
There is
What
terrible
was it
apathy.
they asked you to go off the board for?
I'm sorry?
What was the reason that they asked you to leave the board? Why were you kicked off the board?
I questioned what the then president, who has since been sued for embezzlement for business practices that I considered not to be honorable. And he was very upset when I questioned what he was planning to do, and he arranged a kangaroo court in my absence. That following evening, I had another commitment, and I could not attend this kangaroo court meeting, and it was at this meeting that I was terminated. And I just felt, I said to him that I would be willing to attend the meeting at any other time, but not that evening. As I said, I had another commitment.
Now, there are methods described in your governing documents to get rid of board members, correct? I mean, as an individual homeowner, you can raise a petition, you can call for a special meeting.
There is a state statute that was changed in 2009 that only made it easier to remove a board member or an entire board.
Okay.
In this session, the 2011 session of the legislature, by the way, it meets every 2 years, they have changed that requirement and made it much more difficult to remove a board member. Now, you have to understand, some of our associations have thousands of homes. We have two retirement communities that each have over 7,000 homes in them.
Mm-hmm. You know, we have a caller on line 3. Bob has a comment on Legislation 254. Welcome, Bob.
Well, thank you very much. I enjoy listening to your show very much. Jonathan has made some real good points on SB 254, and you agreed, Tony, with the fact that 254 requires mandatory mediation, mandatory arbitration.
Mm-hmm.
What about the people who are being hung out to dry, who have families, who have an income problem because of the economy, which is no fault of their own, and suddenly we talk about them paying an amount of money, which is $250, $500, $1,000. This is chilling. This is going to stop people. If they don't know what they're doing and they file a complaint with the Nevada Real Estate Division, they're going to be, wow.
Yeah.
This is the trap.
Yeah, I don't like it that it's mandatory either.
Not only that, but there's a huge cost factor involved. And don't forget about the HOA attorney's fees that are going to be zonked against them. And most people, as Bob has just said, they don't have the money to go hire a lawyer to represent them in a arbitration case, and they're walking into a den of lions.
Thanks for your comment, Bob. This is why I think it is so much better to operate within the system and participate in your homeowners association.
But you have a biased board.
Yeah, but you know what, Jonathan? That just sounds like such... I can't help it. It sounds like such sour grapes from someone who didn't get along with their board.
I've heard this from hundreds of people.
Well, but in your particular homeowners association, why didn't you get other homeowners involved to overturn this board or to elect better officials, better board members?
Jonathan?
I'm so sorry. I think we lost Jonathan. Is that what happened, Bill? Yeah, I'm so sorry.
That's too bad.
Jonathan, I just got a signal from our producer that you were accidentally cut off. I apologize profusely.
Yes, if you want to give a call again here, Jonathan, we can get you on for just one last moment here. Again, the number 651-289-4488. Let me just say... Tony, that one of the things that I think is probably forgotten in this entire discussion is the idea that homeowner associations and a board specifically aren't just thinking of themselves; they're thinking of all of the people that they're representing.
Right.
And when a homeowner, for example, in the case of someone not paying their monthly assessments, and or they are being flagrant in disobedience to the rules, like having a dog, having a dog off leash, bothering people. A lot of the other homeowners like the fact that the HOA gets involved, and puts in place fines and puts in place a means for encouraging this person to pay and to comply.
Yeah,
I think that an HOA board a lot of times is doing something because it is a benefit, not
that's right. In my experience, most owners want the documents and the rules to be enforced. We have Jonathan back on the line. Is that right, Bill?
I'm here.
Hi,
yes,
Jonathan. So sorry. I don't know what happened, but I'm going to blame the producer.
No, I think we should take you to arbitration.
Okay, let me check my checkbook balance first.
We've got about maybe 30 seconds to a minute left. Jonathan, what is it that you'd like to say in closing here?
That boards need to take a step back. They should not be allowed to judge their fellow homeowner. It should be done by a non-involved third party and at no cost. As I said earlier, there are two processes in the state of Nevada where a homeowner can go to a neighborhood justice center. There is no cost. It's administered by the court system, and you get an unbiased individual that can try to resolve it. The other item is that if it can't be resolved at that point, then it goes to district court, where you have somebody who is trained, who hopefully knows the law, called a judge, and can read the statutes, and you don't have a bunch of homeowners who may or may not be sophisticated enough to understand their governing documents, to understand the state statutes, and who have biased opinions. Now, as far as...
we've got to wrap it up here. Jonathan, I want to say thank you so much for taking
that would be
time
great.
to be with us today. We've got to take another break. Folks, when we come back, we've got someone who is from the state of Nevada who's with a property management company that may have a different side of this coin that they would like to share. And that's more on the Nevada legislation dealing with mediation and arbitration after these messages.